Jazz Gang is here at the happiest place on earth, MinnesotaCon. Saw some great panels. Here's some highlights.
My favorite part was when we filmed the pilot. I mean, that was my first job in LA. It was the biggest job that I did in LA, and
when you still had hair.
Back when I was young and beautiful. But I mean, it's going to sound cheesy, but it's always that sort of like first introduction of the Rangers to Zordon, where Zordon calls them Power Rangers for the first time. He gives them the power coins, and he gives them the choice. And you know, I think that's a very important moment in the show for them to decide for themselves if they want to take on the mantle of the hero. And that's something very powerful for the kids. So that's my favorite.
What was your favorite moment, or your special moment? Character or personal?
Personal, I think it was just like super special because I hadn't done TV yet. I was a theater actress since I was really little, so I was learning like a whole new like language basically. Yeah, you learn a lot really quickly being thrown into that, but it was super special, just experience-wise.
That's awesome.
And there's so many favorite moments, it's hard to pick just one.
I knew it was going to be a better question.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first day on set, and you know, like many of you, what I'd seen was that at the beginning of every movie, you see the big 20th Century Fox, dun, 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 you know, and you're just like, that's so cool. And you knew there was a cool movie coming, and then now I was on set filming for Fox, and there's a director, and those are producers, and look at all these other people doing stuff with lights and costume, and now there's 3 women constantly touching my clothes, getting out wrinkles, and there's a very gay man in my face fixing my makeup, going, your eyelashes are so beautiful. And you know, so I just like, all of these new first experiences, like, oh my, it was overload, it was sensory overload. And then Walter, who literally taught me very important things, like when you're gonna deliver a line, Austin, turn and face the camera. I was like, you mean I don't want to film my butt? Oh, I guess that makes sense. Not my best side. So it was just the learning curve. I was 18, learning what it was to be a man. I was 18, learning what it was to be a global superhero. And I was a guy who knew nothing about acting. And I was drinking through a fire hose. So it was it was just so many firsts and incredibles and wild moments that go back. I sparred with one of the premier fighting choreographers in Hollywood at the time. He choreographed Blade for Wesley Snipes. He was doing fight scenes for Sean Connery. You know, I mean, like that's who tested me to see if I was good enough, and I passed. I still get excited about that. You know, so it was a lot of really cool moments.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite moments was like Austin said, there was so much to remember. But we did that show. That show we did at Universal Studios was just, that was crazy. It was like, so, you know, filming a TV show is one thing, because we're on a set and it's a controlled environment, so what's wrong. But doing theater, doing a live show is completely different. And we did this live show at Universal Studios where we backed traffic up from downtown to LA. We shut LA down. The freeways were just closed, 8 miles of traffic. And we did 6 shows in one day at Universal Amphitheater, which is where Michael Jackson would do a concert. So it's like a huge place. We filled it up 6 times in a day. And I just remember, I mean, I come from doing theater, and so I'm used to having that instant glorification, like when you perform. But there were things that I had never been on a stage that big, with an audience that big. And I just remember the learning curve. Something that dawned on me the other day is like, we started on these scaffoldings. So we're standing on these scaffoldings, like, and we're gonna jump off. We have mats below. We're gonna jump off, do a flip, land on the mat, and then go down the stage, flipping and kicking or whatever, until we get to the center. We take off our helmet, right? So I'm standing on the scaffolding, and you know, the audience is full, the crowd is going crazy, but the lights are shining right in my face. And I'm wearing a helmet, and I can't see. And I have to flip. So I'm like, okay, I have to do a front flip to land on this mat that's below me, but in rehearsals, for some reason it seemed like it was easier. I think maybe the house lights were up, so you had lights in back of us, so you could see, but now there's no lights, it's just black. And the lights are in my face, and I'm looking down and going, I can't even see the mat, this is crazy. So I jump off, do a flip, and I'm thinking in my head, I don't know how I'm gonna land this, so I'm gonna overdo the flip and then roll off the mat. That's the only way I can think of to do it. So I do the front flip, I hit the mat, I roll, I stand up. It worked. I was like, yeah. I go down, I'm kicking and flipping, I get in the middle of the stage, I take off my helmet, and they go, he dons the power of the Mastodon, he is Zach the Black Ranger, and the crowd goes, and there's lights everywhere. It's like, you know, when you go to warp speed, like just like everybody had cameras. They had their little cameras, right? So you can not only hear the flash, but you can hear the clicking and the ran. It was, and this is 1993, so 1994. So definitely a different time, but that moment will always be one of the most exciting moments of my life because it was unlike anything I had ever experienced. And it was also the first time that we went, dang, we're famous. All these people came to see us. I mean, afterwards, we went, like, Arsenio Hall was in the back, and, like, all these different celebrities were there with their kids, and, like, hey, we want to get a picture. We're like, okay. Yeah, it was wild, right? It was like, we're famous? We're famous. Oh, we're famous. Exactly. It was a crazy moment, but yeah, it was awesome.